listening to Cosmic Cousins Soul-Centered Astrology. I am your host, Jeff Henshaw. Thanks for tuning in. Cosmic Cousins is dedicated to honoring the interconnectedness of our universal family through embodied health, self-discovery, and deeper learning. And it is here to bring you back into alignment with the cosmos. So thank you for being here as always. Hey, Cosmic Cousins, welcome back to another week of the podcast. This is our special Libra New Moon podcast episode for the solar eclipse. That's right, we're in eclipse season here at the Libra New Moon, followed by the Taurus full moon lunar eclipse in 2 weeks. And the exact date of this Libra New Moon eclipse is Saturday, October 14th, 2023. Saturday, Saturn's day. So let's look at Saturn in this chart for sure. Saturday, October 14th at 10:55 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, found at 21 degrees and 7 minutes of Libra. So we're going to talk about the Libra South Node of Fate today. The nodes of fate are currently North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra. So this eclipse axis does indicate to us clues into eclipse season. And we have eclipses during Libra season this year. We're closing out the Taurus Scorpio eclipse axis with the Taurus full moon. And then this coming Aries season, we'll have eclipses both in the signs of Aries and Libra, and then again to follow in Libra season of 2024. So yes, we're going to check in with the South Node of Fate. We'll check in with a few other things. Like we're saying, I always like to look at the day of the week that the lunation falls on, and this is on a Saturday, so it's an invitation to check in with Saturn. This is also an invitation for us to check in with Venus, which is the ruling planet for Libra, and I also want to check in with Pluto, which has just recently stationed direct. So let's get into it. If you're new here, welcome. We gather on the new and the full moon every 2 weeks. This is a free podcast offering to you as a part of the Cosmic Cousins community. And it's an honor to be here with you in this way. Again, my name is Jeff Henshaw. I am an astrologer and tarot practitioner. I write, teach, and podcast about astrology and tarot and its intersection with spirituality, somatic healing, and with social justice. So the phrases I have for us, I'll always offer us 3 phrases. And the phrases I have for us for this Libra new moon are I balance, I recenter, and I reset. I balance, this is a very Libran phrase that we're aware of with Libra. One of the symbols for Libra is the scale. If you look at the glyph for Libra, I often think it looks like a sunset. Libra is about equal measure of day and night. And so whether you're on the northern or southern hemisphere, Libra season is a time where day and night are in equal measure. I recenter, coming back into the self. This is important with Libra, but I'm particularly feeling it on this lunation. Eclipses are really times to go within, so we'll connect into the invitation of the eclipse today. And I reset. This word is specifically connected to the South Node of Fate in Libra. I balance, I recenter, I reset. You might pull a tarot card for each of these phrases. You might fill in the blank, elaborate on them, use them as a launching pad for deeper discussion with yourself or with loved ones. Eclipses are potent times of transformation and growth. So eclipse season is from now until the Taurus full moon eclipse. That is the heart of the eclipse season, but really the 2 weeks before and the 2 weeks after. So we're talking the Aries full moon, which was 2 weeks ago, the end of September, to the Scorpio new moon, which falls on, let's look, the Scorpio new moon is on November 12th. So really this 6-week time period we can feel into the invitations of eclipse season. Again, eclipses are potent times of transformation and growth. And this solar eclipse, which I do know is visible in parts of Oregon, other parts of the world too, but that's the one that I'm tapped into. There's this temporary darkening of the sun during an eclipse, and it offers a reset or a resurgence of energy. You can think of like a power outage, like your lights go out and they turn back on. It can be a jolt to the system. So this energetically and spiritually can be a time when shadows, when fears, when outdated patterns can be brought to the light. So movement can be created, change can be created. We are most supported when we make time to go within during eclipses, during eclipse portals, in order to expand back out. It can be a time of exponential growth. So mantra practices, prayer, affirmations, and meditations that keep the mind clear and aid in release, that aid with activation of your connection to your spiritual self. This helps to navigate the intensity and the rapid evolution that's available to us that eclipses may bring into our life. Again, every eclipse isn't going to affect everyone. Those of you who have a lot of Libra or Aries energy may be feeling this the most intensely. Those of you who do have any planets in these two signs or have the nodal axis in your chart in these two signs might feel it the most potently. But this solar eclipse is in the sign of Libra and wants to help us evolve out of materialism and into a deeper understanding of life's meaning through relationship. So Libra offers us the grace to be decisive in times of crisis. Libra offers us the grace to be calm in times of crisis. Libra's reminding you of these parts of yourself. So this is the wisdom of resting. I often find with Libra, which is important during eclipses, is to find the time to rest. While also Libra reminds us of the wisdom of taking action. Again, there's always going to be this invitation into balance. Libra invites us to take time to appreciate the beauty of nature. These are simple things you can be doing for self-care during Libra season, and particularly leaning into them during the eclipse portal. So again, Libra reminds us the wisdom of resting, taking time to appreciate the beauty of nature, to ponder problem solutions while relaxing or while observing or creating art. Libra is this balance between understanding and action. Life, it requires us to make decisions. Aries, the polar sign, might invite us to take a gut reaction, to be instinctual, to strike the match. Libra, on the other side of the wheel, invites us to take a step back, to relax, to be with nature, to ponder art in order to make clear decisions. So Libra understands that when we take the time to make a decision, that we are aligned with our higher self or with a higher intention. So being intentional with Libran energy is important because once a decision is made, it cannot be taken back, and Libra understands this. So Libra is connected to the Justice card in the tarot, which might often invite us into these themes. Libra and Justice encourages us to align with a greater uniting truth, while also finding a sacred balance between contradictions within ourselves and also in the world around us. What's interesting, though, is that the South Node of Fate is in Libra, so some of these invitations we might feel as though we're getting pulled into, and we'll talk about how to discern the difference. But before we do that, I just would like to share that Libra in its highest, it uses the power of communication and self-reflection to advocate for the improvement of society. And this is often through equality, social justice, and inclusion. So before we go deeper into the invitations of the Libra South Node of Fate, I would like to share with you the body parts that Libra's connected to, And I'd also like to reflect on Libra's esoteric phrase. So the body parts that Libra's connected to, and we will always connect to the body when working with astrology here on Cosmic Cousins. It's so important for us to bring our cosmic awarenesses into the here and the now, into the practical. And so one of the body parts that Libra is connected to is the adrenals. It's connected to the lower back, the kidneys, and the adrenals. So maybe you place your hands down at this part of your body, at the lower back and by the kidneys. The adrenals are the small glands that are located on top of the kidneys. And the adrenals produce hormones that regulate stress response and energy levels. So Libra's connection to the adrenals emphasizes the importance of peace and balance. So let's take a loving awareness to this part of the body. I encourage you to explore the lower back, the kidneys, and the adrenals when working with Libran energy. If you do have Libra in your big three or a lot of placements in Libra, you might also find a particular resonance with your own healing journey by bringing awareness to this part of the body. And so let's go ahead and take a few rounds of deep, nourishing inhales into this part of the body as we transition into deeper exploration of this Libra new moon. So a deep inhale and a deep exhale. Imbalances in the adrenals may indicate the need to find healthy ways to manage stress. So just by bringing awareness to this part of the body, it can help to regulate cortisol levels and support adrenal health. Imbalances in the adrenals may also indicate the need to seek emotional balance and establish boundaries in relationships. So making gentle movements to the hips, circles with the hips, deep breathing into the lower back. These are just simple things that we can be doing for practical holistic health at this time. And bring your awareness back to the lower back throughout the rest of this podcast episode if you find your mind wandering. So we were talking about Libra and its soul invitation of using the power of communication and self-reflection to advocate for the improvement of society. I'd like to bring in Libra's esoteric phrase as something for us to meditate on. The esoteric phrase for Libra that was written by Alice Bailey is, "I choose the way that leads between the two great lines of force." I choose the way that leads between the two great lines of force. This makes me think of Libra's esoteric ruler, which is Uranus, which Uranus is often here to dispel the illusion of separation between opposing forces. Libra's south node of fate. So this is an eclipse, right? Solar eclipse. And the south node of fate is in Libra from July 17th of this year, 2023, through January 11th of 2025. So we get a year and a half of the south node of fate in Libra. So this is the first Libra new moon since the south node of fate entered Libra. The south node of fate's journey through Libra offers a deep reset. The south node of fate, whatever sign it's in, offers a reset and a realignment around that astrological sign's theme. So we're experiencing a realignment and a cleanse to Libran themes in our lives, both personally and collectively. So whatever placements you have in Libra are going through some sort of reset at this time. So again, this means something for us personally, but also collectively. On a personal level, the south node of fate in Libra invites you to release patterns of codependency. The south node of fate in Libra invites you to release the need for external validation. It invites you to release the need to make things peaceful. Although peace is important while the south node of fate is in Libra, You might find that you need to start a new journey, North Node of Fate in Aries, maybe towards a more peaceful location, South Node of Fate in Libra, in order to ensure your evolution around this axis in your chart. So while the South Node of Fate is in Libra, it offers us the time to relearn the ways in which we cultivate inner harmony. While the South Node of Fate is in Libra, it invites us to relearn the ways in which we cultivate balance for ourselves as individuals, separate from our relationships. So when we tune into this from a collective perspective, it does bring greater awareness around collective efforts for social justice. The South Node of Fate in Libra collectively brings greater awareness around peace and equality. Although the North Node of Fate in Aries might encourage some sort of intensity around the ways in which individuals assert their rights. So collectively, there is an undercurrent of activation and challenges that may present itself around Aries and Libra themes. We are being encouraged to confront and examine outdated power dynamics while exploring new ways of engaging in dialogue for greater peace and understanding. So during this 1.5-year transit, our relationship to ourselves and to others is moving through a massive shift and clearing. And this eclipse season is reminding us of this, and it is reminding us to be mindful of old relational habits that might resurface at this time. So finding new ways to cultivate a healthy relationship with your very sense of self is supported. This long-term transit does hold the potential to upgrade the ways in which we all navigate relationships. So you might find that you need to set more clear boundaries with people from a place of authenticity and self-assuredness. Open yourself up to more balanced and fulfilling connections for the future. So for those of you that have the South Node of Fate in Libra and the North Node of Fate in Aries, this is your nodal return. These are themes that you're working through and with throughout your lifetime. The nodal return, this is every 18.5 years. So this is age 18.5, age 37. I'm going through my nodal return right now. Age 55.5, 74, 92.5. So again, the nodal return, life events often sync up during the nodal return in fateful ways. This would also be true if you have any placements in Aries and Libra. Life events might also start to encourage your evolution and realignment with your purpose here on this planet. If you have the North Node of Fate in Libra, welcome to your nodal opposition. This also occurs every 18.5 years, and the nodal opposition indicates a time of significant realignments in your life as well. And this takes place at age 9, 28, which builds up right to one's first Saturn return. So age 9, 28, 46, age 65, 83, and 101. So if you find yourself at any of these ages, or you have the nodal axis in your chart in Aries and Libra, this could be a good time for us to check in for an astrology reading, or for you to just bring Aries and Libra more deeply into your meditations at this time. And so one way that we have been seeing this happen collectively, or how this might be presenting itself collectively, has been found in the conflict in Israel that's taking place. So I've been reflecting on peace and justice a lot this Libra eclipse season. It feels particularly important right now. And I just wanted to say that to our friends in Israel and Palestine, to our Jewish community and beyond, we send our heartfelt support during this difficult period. We stand together in the pursuit of greater justice and peace and understanding. I wanted to share some words that I found to be extremely helpful on centering humanity, and this is from intersectional environmentalist author Leah Thomas. Leah Thomas writes, "Mourning for the people of Palestine and the Jewish community, both communities who have shown up for the liberation of Black people for decades. Navigating how to be an ally if you aren't in either community is complex, and I encourage you to center humanity during this time. Continue to speak against violence. Don't get swept up in talking points. If you don't know what to say, know this. Your Palestinian friends are looking to you to know you see their humanity and right to a life without disenfranchisements. Your Jewish friends are looking to you to know you do not support the loss of innocent Jewish lives and that their Jewish identity does not mean they support the actions of the Israeli government. Your Palestinian friends are looking at you to demonstrate you don't equate their existence to Hamas and that additional innocent people shouldn't face starvation, continuous violence, and the stripping of their human rights. While your Jewish friends also want you to know their grief may be complex and they deserve time to process and that their mourning is not an endorsement of violence. Their fear and grief is valid and has a historical basis. While there are loud extremists, there are even more people who are scared and trying to process, figuring out how to take action, how to grieve, and wondering how this can stop. You can be critical of Hamas and the Israeli government while holding space and compassion for Jewish and Palestinian people. We need a solution that centers humanity. We cannot continue to justify any type of human rights violations, and we must confront the reality that the failure to solve this conflict has allowed tension to boil in a way that's putting innocent people at risk. So I found those words to be extremely helpful. It feels very related to the North Node of Fate in Aries and the South Node of Fate in Libra. This has all been taking place during eclipse season. A question that I'm reflecting on this Libra New Moon is how might we contribute to greater love and equality without burnout or overwhelm? One of the things that came to me was actually the connection to prayer. And so I did want to invite us into prayer today. I also pulled us a card from an oracle deck that I've been working with. So I've been staying in Hawaii for the last month, and I'm here through the end of the year. I'm visiting and staying temporarily as a guest on the sacred big island of Hawaii. So I've been working with this oracle deck called Mana Cards, and it's an oracle deck that shares the power of Hawaiian wisdom. So I tuned into this oracle deck. I tuned into you all in the Cosmic Cousins community, and I asked this question: how might we contribute to greater love and equality without burnout or overwhelm? And the card that we received is number 14, and it's Aloha. It shows an elder's hand reaching out for a child's hand. And I've included a picture of it in the Cosmic Cousins newsletter, which you can sign up for at the link in the show notes. So I wanted to share a little bit of Aloha, and I also wanted to share a prayer with you for this Libra New Moon. So Aloha, this is a word that many people are familiar with. It's a word that's used to express greetings, farewells, and love. Alo means awaken, the path of light. Stay awake. Ha means to bring about peace and agreement. I didn't know this. This is something new that I'm learning. I have never seen it broken down like this. But aloha literally translates to stay awake, bring about peace and agreement. So I think that this is such a Libran message for us. And its message in the book, there's a little book that comes with this deck for us for this Libra New Moon. I'm going to read a paragraph from it. It says, most of us seek to love and be loved, yet we often misunderstand the nature of love. It is easy to confuse love with desire and dependency. Powerful emotions can seduce us into needy behavior or to act in a way that might hurt someone else. A well-respected Hawaiian kahuna, which is a priest or expert, named Daddy Bray, taught that to experience true love, which is aloha, you must be honest, truthful, patient, kind to all forms of life, humble, and in harmony with your true self, with God and Goddess, and with all of humanity. I'm going to read that again. A well-respected Hawaii kahuna, Daddy Bray, taught that to experience true love, aloha, you must be honest, truthful, patient, kind to all forms of life, humble, and in harmony with your true self, God and Goddess, and all of humanity. It then goes on to say it is difficult to maintain a spirit of aloha if we depend on others to make us feel fulfilled. What is often sugar-coated as love is nothing more than desire for attachment. Aloha means love. Live according to the secret meaning of aloha. And then it has each letter has a Hawaiian word that's attached to it that I'm not sure if I'll be able to pronounce them, but A in aloha says ala, which is watchfulness or alertness. L is lōkāhi, which is to work with unity. The O is for truthful and honesty. The H is for humility, and the A is for patient perseverance. So the letters in aloha stand for alertness, work with unity, truthful honesty, humility, patient perseverance. So this all feels very important. I'm recording from the Big Island of Hawaii, so I wanted to bring some Hawaiian wisdom to you. I'm also raising funds right now for Aloha Maui Pride, which I'll talk about more in a moment. But I'm very grateful for my time spent here and wanting to give back in ways that I can, while also bringing with you some energy of the Hawaiian Islands, or bringing to you the energy of the Hawaiian Islands. So again, aloha, there's a strong message for us. It means stay awake, the path of light, bring about peace and agreement. These are things for us to be reconnecting with on this Libra New Moon. And if it calls to you, perhaps you'll join me in prayer for greater peace. And so I wrote out a little prayer. You could bring awareness to your lower back. You could be reminded of our phrases for Libra, which are, I balance, I recenter, I reset. I balance, I recenter, I reset. And here's our prayer. O Goddess of peace, may your love permeate the hearts of all beings. May our actions be guided by compassion and empathy. May conflicts be resolved. May we come together as one global family united by our common desire for belonging. May love and understanding prevail. O Goddess of peace, may your love permeate the hearts of all beings. May our actions be guided by compassion and empathy. May conflicts be resolved. May we come together as one global family united by our common desire for belonging. May love and understanding prevail. So I just want to share a few announcements and updates before we get into going deeper into this week's podcast episode. But I've been hosting a fundraiser on behalf of Cosmic Cousins for Aloha Maui Pride. In response to the recent fires that have affected the beautiful island of Maui, our Cosmic Cousins community has raised $1,468 for Aloha Maui Pride, which is an organization aiming to raise funds and awareness for the LGBTQIA two-spirit community that has been affected by the devastating fires in Maui. So the fundraiser is still open until this Sunday, October 15th, the day after the Libra New Moon. If you would like to donate on behalf of Cosmic Cousins to Aloha Maui Pride, you could visit the link in the show notes. Together, we can lend our support and create a brighter future for the LGBTQ community. Your contribution will make a significant impact. I'd also like to share a very special thank you to those who have offered generous donations. I read the list of people who donated on last week's podcast episode for the Aries full moon, but a few more have donated since, and I'd just like to share their names as a special thank you. A special thank you to the Sacred Web Tarot, Julie Z, Haley Steinecke, Rebecca Sinclair, Peachy Morris, and Jocelyn Hartnett. Again, thank you to all those who donated. I will actually be going to Maui Pride this weekend on the Libra New Moon. I fly out tomorrow morning. I've never been to Maui. It's Maui Pride weekend, and I'm going to attend one of Aloha Maui Pride's events. And that is just a one-day layover on my way to Ojai, California, where I will be assisting Astrologer Heidi Rose Robbins for her Radiant Life Retreat. So I'm going to be in Ojai, California this next week. It should be a powerful time to gather with others during eclipse season. And again, thank you to those who made a donation on behalf of Cosmic Cousins. Some other special announcements and updates. My best friend is getting married this weekend on the Libra New Moon. My best friend from college, Andy Myers, is getting married to the love of his life, John. I sadly cannot make the wedding in person. However, because of technology, I will be attending the ceremony on Zoom. And I have been helping Andy write his vows this week, which just feels so Libran. It's so quintessentially Libran. But yes, I've been reading his reflections on their relationship, and it has been really touching and inspiring and heart-opening. And to witness members of the LGBTQ community joining together through love and commitment, it gives us a glimmer of hope for a better tomorrow. So please join me in wishing both Andy and John a happy, long, love-filled union. They live in Asheville, North Carolina. I want to have Andy on the podcast at some point. He's an incredible Sagittarius, but they are opening up a queer pottery studio in Asheville, North Carolina next year in 2024, and I hope to go to the grand opening of that. So any friends in Asheville, please say hey. I'd love to see you when I'm there. Maybe I'll even host some sort of gathering or something. So yeah, special congratulations to Andy and John. Another announcement that I have is for my own offering. Because I have some travel opportunities in 2024, I will only be offering live one-on-one astrology readings via Zoom through the end of this calendar year, 2023. So if you've been hoping to book a session with me, now would be the time. Since I'll be abroad the first half of 2024 and maybe even longer, my offerings will be shifting in the new year, and I just wanted to give you a heads up. I will still be offering astrology readings and consultations. However, they most likely will be switching to being pre-recorded MP3 readings, and I'll have more information out on that soon. I know some of you might be excited by that because some of you actually prefer the recordings over live sessions, so that could be a cool shift for some of the ways that we connect. I also want to say, even though I'll be abroad in 2024, I'm also happy to share that the podcast will still be able to continue during this time. So episodes will still be released on each new and full moon in 2024, as this offering is still a devotional practice from my heart to yours that still feels really in alignment for me. So if you want to support me in that endeavor, you could become a Patreon supporter of the show at patreon.com/cosmiccousins. You could make a monthly contribution or a one-time contribution, and that helps me to continue to fuel this offering. Again, I have deep dive astrology readings, tarot healing sessions, and mentorship opportunities available for the rest of this calendar year, 2023. Those are all the announcements I have for you for this episode. But at this time, I wanted to transition into some thoughts and reflections from our special guest on this week's podcast episode, who is my friend, Blake Kelley. Blake Kelley, pronouns they, them, are a queer astrologer and tarot practitioner that blend multiple modalities and techniques. Blake is the host of 2 different podcasts and recently invited me on their YouTube channel to explore the asteroid goddesses. And so if you'd like to listen to that, we have like an hour talk on the asteroids, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes to that episode. But on this week's podcast episode, Blake reflects on their life as a Libra rising and as a Tarot Justice Life Path 11. So Blake is a Gemini sun with a Scorpio moon and a Libra rising, and they're going to share some reflections with us now.
Libra has been on my mind quite a bit over the past couple of weeks because I knew that the solar eclipse was coming up for me in my chart as a Libra rising. And one of the things that I feel paradoxical in my own life about is that Libra is my first house of personality and identity. And at the same time, the sign of Libra is so associated with relationships, how you see yourself in the other, how you are in dynamic with something external. And it's been a really big balance for me to try to find my own sense of individuation outside of relationships. And something that I've really been learning over the past couple of months is, what does reciprocity mean in a relationship? Is it equality or is it equity? And how does that differ from relationship to relationship? And am I allowed to have the needs and wants that I have in a relationship? And what happens when my need and someone else's need is not reciprocal or is not in connection? And how do we work through that discomfort, and how do we work through the different parts of who we are, and how do we decide about whether or not we want to stay in that relationship or that organization or community or whatever it happens to be, and how do we honor ourselves with being the most authentic version of ourselves so that we can be in harmony. Oftentimes, Libra is talked about as in creating social harmony or creating external easeship within relationships. And sometimes I think that in order to actually do that, there is a process needing to be done about being completely honest. And sometimes I think as a Libra rising, I have noticed my ability to be able to be a different person in a different relationship based on what it is, but also then having to reflect on whether or not that means I'm showing up completely and authentically who I am, so that there can be deeper relationships and deeper connections with who I am. And also learning that in a relationship, not everything has to be, equal, tit for tat. It doesn't have to be like, I clean the dishes today, which means, my partner needs to clean the dishes tomorrow. It can be leveraging whatever strengths that we can bring into the relationship to be in harmony for that. These are a lot of the thoughts that I've been having as we've been approaching this new moon. From a deeper understanding, Libra can also be representative of how we create social structures, specifically as in what laws we create, how we define why we create those laws. So, for instance, we may enact a law in a society or in a state because morally we believe that's the thing that is holding the social construct together. The rules of laws that we create that we more or less majoritarily agree on. Now, historically, obviously, there have been states and governments that have not reflected that fairness or has been fairness in name only, but Libra rules how we are trying to find that justice and what it means to have justice not only in our interpersonal lives, but how we are trying to work together to create a sense of social harmony as much as possible. And if there is a disturbance where an individual person is not being respected as much as another person inside of that social construct, that is where there is activism and social advocacy and very Libra qualities of standing up for groups of people and standing up for the people that are not being treated fairly. And as we think about the Libra New Moon, it can be, and it's being in an eclipse, we can think about how we are letting go of both the idea of our old versions of what that really means for us and old systems that no longer work for us. It doesn't just have to be internal, and how we can then move into a new perspective, Libra being an air sign with communication, around how to orient ourselves towards creating social harmony and creating reciprocity and also accountability. Libra is often associated with the Justice card, which happens to be my tarot card of my birthday. And it is all about finding the accountability that you can find or you can ask for, even within yourself or externally, in order to move forward and find the ways of moving beyond the hurt, moving beyond not just what happened, but being able to move through that pain of whatever was going on and moving into a more social harmony. I'm really excited for this Libra New Moon, as it is a sense of letting go, of shedding, and allowing what is new to take place so we can grow in a more loving, equal, thoughtful, sincere way. Love to you all.
Thank you so much for your reflections, Blake. Happy rising self time of year to you as a Libra rising. Blake is an incredible human. They are on Instagram at cosmic.empowerment, and they recently relocated to Seattle. So thank you so much, Blake. Wishing for you a happy Libra New Moon, and also wishing that for all of those of you who are tuned into this podcast episode. Before we close out our time together, I did want to bring some reflection to a project that we're working on right now called Zodiac Emoji, and we're on our final zodiac sign. We started this project, Zodiac Emoji, with Scorpio, and we've made our way all the way around the wheel to Libra. So what is Zodiac Emoji exactly? Zodiac Emoji is a community project intended to spark both lighthearted and deep conversation around each zodiac sign through the exploration of symbols, aka emojis. Both playful and contemplative, Zodiac Emoji offers a space for curiosity, community engagement, and creative collective understanding. The Cosmic Cousins community, which is you, carefully vote on, consider, and select one emoji for each zodiac sign. To participate, you can follow me on Instagram at cosmic.cousins, but we're in our final zodiac sign, which is Libra, and we now have it down to our Libra Final Four emojis. So I wanted to share with you these 4 emojis as symbols for you to help navigate this rest of Libra season, and also the entire time we have the South Node of Fate in Libra. These could be some symbols for us to reconnect with. So the final 4 emojis for Libra, I've also paired with our Queen of Libra. We named Bell Hooks the Queen of Libra. Bell Hooks, if you're not familiar with her, was a feminist writer and thought provoker who was a strong advocate for equality and dismantling systems of oppression. In her work, Bell Hooks emphasized compassionate communication and love while promoting inclusivity, celebrating diversity, and acknowledging the importance of solidarity across racial lines. So the final 4 Libran emojis, when we look at them with Queen of Libra Bell Hooks, it helps to deepen our understanding of this interpersonal cardinal air sign. Maybe the most obvious emoji is the scales of justice. So the scales of justice represent the eternal quest for Libra for equality, fairness, balance, equilibrium, and rightful relationship. It is an iconic symbol for Libra, often seen on the Justice card in the tarot, which is Libra's tarot card. Another emoji symbol is the blossoming lotus, which represents enlightenment, spiritual growth, expanding consciousness, a peaceful society, and the beauty that emerges through overcoming life's hardships. Our next symbol is the mourning dove of peace, embodying divine messages, honoring of grief through serenity, grace, cooperation, peace, partnership, and the ability to rise above. And our final emoji for Libra, the symbol, is the mirror, reflecting the desire for self-reflection, introspection, aesthetic, and the pursuit of inner beauty and inner truth. The emoji that I've been connecting with the most, just based off of where I'm living right now in Hawaii, well, I've been seeing the blossoming lotus a lot in little ponds, but I've also been seeing and hearing the mourning doves. They're everywhere here in Hawaii. So I've been doing a little bit of research, but since being back here, I hear and see doves all the time. Doves are often found in pairs. It's fairly common to see two mourning doves cuddling and spending time with each other. They often are monogamous. Mating pairs are monogamous and often mate for life. We can often think of, like lovebirds often connects us to doves, and this connects us to the Libran theme of partnership. Birds and doves sing most of their praises early in the morning, so they're often referred to as the morning dove, but this is not necessarily specific to the time of day. It's actually mourning as in mourning or grieving. And so I found this really interesting because that piece that I read to you earlier, if we revisit that post by Leah Thomas, the intersectionalist environmentalist, the first line was mourning for the people, mourning, grieving. So the mourning dove of peace, this is an interesting download for us for Libra. But Libra, a deeper message from the dove is that doves are referred to as mourning doves due to their distinctive mournful cooing sound. The mournful cooing sound of the mourning dove is believed to serve various purposes, including attracting mates, establishing clear boundaries for territory. Attracting mates and establishing boundaries, these are Libran themes. The unique sound, often described as haunting or plaintive, has led to the use of the term mourning and the common name for this species. Mourning doves are widely distributed across North and Central America and are known for their gentle and peaceful nature. Their soft cooing is often considered a soothing and calming sound, blending harmoniously with the natural environment. The mourning dove holds the power to transform grief and sadness through peace, beauty, and collaboration. Mourning doves also desire a peaceful environment, and if their environment doesn't stay peaceful, they might have the tendency to move on, which could connect us to Libran energy. Doves represent a peaceful society as they gather and flock to places and regions that are balanced and at ease. Their presence in an area indicates a relatively stable and hospitable environment, as they are sensitive to disturbances and may be less likely to thrive in areas with high levels of conflict or disruption. Doves are primarily seed eaters, and their presence often coincides with abundant food in areas with plentiful vegetation. So when doves are present in a society, it represents peace and also abundance, which is connecting us to the ruling planet for Libra, which is Venus. The dove of peace is often depicted holding a sprig of herb, specifically an olive branch in its beak. The olive branch has a long history as a symbol of peace, dating back to ancient and Roman cultures. In these civilizations, the olive tree was considered sacred and was associated with peace, harmony, and abundance. The offering of an olive branch symbolizes a desire for peaceful resolution and the restoration of harmony. Libra, ruled by Venus, the planet associated with love, harmony, beauty, and diplomacy, the olive branch holds a significant symbolism for Libra. The dove of peace aligns with these Venusian qualities. It represents the pursuit of peace through both nature and diplomatic means, promoting harmony, healing, and understanding. It's making me think of one of my favorite Libras, India Ari, has a song called Soul Bird Rise. And I would encourage you to look that song up on this Libra New Moon if you're looking for a way to connect to the divine messenger that is Libra. Those with strong Libran placements, I'm just thinking of Amma, the hugging saint. I'm thinking of India Ari, Bell Hooks, Gandhi, Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm thinking of Louise Hay was a Libra. A lot of messages around love and healing. And I see this embodied in the symbol of the dove, but that connection to mourning, the mourning dove, processing grief through love, through beauty, through keeping the energy light and rising above for a more objective perspective, for greater peace for all. This is deepening my understanding of Libra, this Libra season. And I hope that in some ways it offers you a ripple effect of healing in your life and in the lives of those around you. And so to close out our time together today, let's bring awareness to the dove of peace. I'll play you a clip of doves from my garden outside of my apartment here on the big island of Hawaii. Cosmic Cousins, thanks as always for tuning into the podcast and tuning into yourself. I'm wishing for you a peaceful and balanced Libra New Moon and rest of Libra season. And I'll see you next time for the Taurus full moon, a lunar eclipse in 2 weeks. The exact date for that, just so you have it, this is right there at the end of October. On October 28th, Saturday, October 28th, is the Taurus full moon. So see you then. Take sweet care, cousins, and remember, deep breaths.